up, everybody? Good evening. Welcome back to another episode. Another news recap. I am fresh back from my trip to Washington, D.C. Feeling good. I'm excited, ready to go. So we got a lot of news stories to cover tonight. The big one is Donald Trump basically using his newfound power and abuse of power, I guess, to target marginalized communities in Washington, D.C. All signs point to yes. My big theory is they needed a way to circumvent probable cause or reasonable suspicion or racial profiling. So with Donald Trump's newfound powers, he could tell the cops to go wherever they want. Good news is, though, apparently the D.C. police chief will remain in charge of the cops. They will not be under direct control of the Trump administration, so they have retained some power there. That is a big loss for the Trump administration and their plan to take over Washington, D.C. I'm also going to talk about how Edward Big Balls Korenstein may be getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom, if you could believe that, for getting his ass whooped by a 15-year-old girl. Anyway, we also have exclusive footage of Donald Trump showing up at the Kennedy Center because one of my friends that I play video games on, play Call of Duty with, she was nice enough to keep me posted on what was going on in Washington, D.C. So I managed to end up at the Kennedy Center as Donald Trump's motorcade showed up. So I have one-of-a-kind footage of that, which is it was actually pretty cool to see. I'm not going to lie, but then I got to thinking, how much does it cost to transport this asshole 2 miles? It's 1.7 miles from the White House to the Kennedy Center. So I had to, obviously, I can't figure that out on my own. So I asked ChatGPT, gave it all the information and had the distance and all that stuff. It cost anywhere from like $30,000 to $50,000 one way, up to $100,000 in taxpayer money to transport Donald Trump 3.5 miles round trip. What are you talking? I could not believe it. So we'll show you that. We're also going to talk about how there has been a new felony sub in run. There are felony charges are being pressed against apparently somebody that worked for the Department of Justice who threw a Subway sandwich at a ICE officer. So, of course, we're going to talk about that. I want to also dig into Pete Hegseth's pastor a little more. I've had it podcast, the I Hit podcast. I've had it podcast. Yes, I just said podcast twice. Anyway, the ladies over there were nice enough to dig into his pastor, Pete Hegseth's pastor. Because remember, we showed you the video the other day talking about, they think basically a woman should just be a servant to their husband. Totally submissive, no right to vote, probably no right to have a credit card or a bank account or a say in anything. That's Pete Hegseth's pastor. So we're going to dig into a little bit of that because the history of that church is actually quite disturbing. Hold on, let me turn my comments on here. I knew I was missing something. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. I'm glad to see you all here. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight because I'm actually feeling quite inspired after my trip to D.C. I did not see any cops. Well, I mean, I saw cops, but, I don't feel like it was an excessive amount of cops for D.C. I saw absolutely zero troops. I didn't see a single soldier or a single vehicle. So I was actually surprised because based on the stories that were leaking through from credible sources, they were saying the one train station there, Union Station, I think it is, cops and ICE everywhere checking papers like it was Nazi Germany. I went in there to check. I actually wanted to see for myself. So that's why I went to D.C. I wasn't going expecting to see people in the street. I mean, I was hoping to see thousands of people in the streets. But then towards the end of the day, I realized I'm probably not going to see a whole lot. But some magical things happened while I was there. It seemed like it was business as usual when I was there. It really seemed like nobody gave a shit at that point. But they're going to once they start seeing soldiers in the streets for no apparent reason. Special announcement. I ended up at a pro-Palestine or pro-Gaza protest outside of Fox News. That's what I streamed. the other day. That's before my phone overheated. That's why my stream got cut off, as my phone literally overheated and shut down. We have somebody from that, the U.S. delegate from, and I'm going to get the name wrong. Let me make sure I get the name right, or I'm going to feel like a total ass here. It's the Global Movement to Gaza, USA. So we have a delegate from that organization coming on the show on Sunday to talk about their work, their mission, how they're helping, trying to get aid. And you guys have probably heard of the Freedom Flotilla. That's probably the most common one you guys have probably heard of. So kind of the same thing. So they're trying to get aid to Gaza via the sea, because obviously you can't get it through land because Israel completely surrounds the place, and there's no way to get it in through land. So I cannot wait to have this episode. Mike and I are working on it right now, making sure we get everything as right as possible. So that's going to be Sunday at 2 p.m. I'm really looking forward to that. If I'm not mistaken, there's a new mission coming up where they're going to send like a bunch of ships. So I don't know. I have to. Hopefully, she'll be able to fill us in on all that. So that was amazing, though, seeing them outside of Fox News, and it made me realize that's what made me realize that a small amount of people can make a huge difference. Because what they did was exactly what I talk about when I say revolution is about disruption. They had bullhorns with sirens blaring nonstop. They brought pots and pans, and they literally just set up shop. And they had pictures, posters, banners that they had made all laid out. Some pretty graphic, you know what I mean, showing kids starving and whatnot. And they just sat there. And it was loud. They even offered me earplugs. It was so loud. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm like going deaf anyway, I think. But anyway, I had such an amazing time there. And just seeing that, how a small amount of people can just be civilly disobedient like that. You know what I mean? Not breaking any laws. Not that I know of, anyway. But the cops were there watching. I mean, it was completely peaceful, of course. But it was just, yeah, see, he made it out alive. Yeah, it was nothing. Like every time I go down there, it's nothing. I just don't, in my heart, I don't see the military going through with it. I don't want to believe that the military could possibly follow this fascism route. I mean, you know what I mean? That's not why people join the military. That's not why people join the military. And I'm sure there's some racist Trump supporters in the military that are all for this shit. You know what I mean? But most people, the military is quite literally the most diverse group of people that you could put together. You know what I mean? That's what I loved about my childhood, is growing up in such a diverse environment. And you get to go to other countries a lot of times and see different cultures and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I just have a hard time seeing, and they're getting shamed on the streets of D.C. They're getting shamed on the streets of L.A. And I know those troops did not join the military to have American citizens call them Nazis or Gestapo. You know what I mean? That's got to hurt. That's got to hurt. It has to. Because keep in mind, these military kids are following orders. You know what I mean? They were told to go to D.C. They don't have a choice. But if they start getting orders to, arrest people or possibly shoot people, that's when you're going to see whether the military is really down for this ride and you're just going to follow whatever orders that are given, or if they really do stand by their oath. Because a lot of people don't understand that. Yes, it says the President of the United States in that oath, but it also says the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which is a separate set of laws, a very strict set of laws that you do not break, that is in the military. So you got the laws outside of the military, and then you have more laws within the military. So if you're given an order that violates the UCMJ, you have the lawful right to disobey that order. And I'm telling you, going after American citizens is a violation of that order, because that's not what the military's for. That's not what the military's for. So anyway, I got a little off topic there. We're also going to talk about PragerU. I don't know if any of you guys know about PragerU. I've heard about PragerU, but until recently, I did not really know what it was. I looked into it today. Holy fucking shit. I don't know if you guys have seen the goddamn video that's going around. They teach stuff like slavery wasn't that bad because it was okay for the times. That's quite literally what they're teaching kids. So we're going to show you. I'm going to show you the website, and you're going to be amazed at some of the videos that they have on here. And it is. And by the way, Kash Patel's girlfriend is the CEO of PragerU. PragerU, who is now replacing PBS. This is Israeli propaganda, guys. This is an Israeli-backed website that is teaching insane fascistic ideals to whoever clicks on their website. And they have an entire fucking kids section. So we're going to talk about that a little bit too. So real quick, before we go into all of this, I'm just going to play this in the background. Let me add this. This is Donald Trump showing up at the Kennedy Center, just so you can see. They blocked off the entire highway, which I guess makes sense given how long this Carnival cruise is. All right, now this is just the beginning of it. All right, now this is just the beginning of it. This is ridiculous. Oh, and we're also going to talk about the fact that Donald Trump is with Putin, or was with Putin. I watched some of the conference they gave afterwards, and I'm pretty sure we're about to get screwed. Us and Ukraine. I just have a feeling Donald Trump's going to start trading with Russia, lift sanctions, allow them in places they shouldn't be. I just have this terrible feeling about this deal with Russia, because they were laughing an awful lot together. Like, they just were super happy to see one another. I didn't realize how short Putin was either. All right, so here they're coming around the corner. Now, this is just the police escort. And again, thank you, Amanda, for the inside information. I had just parked my car in the same parking garage I do every time. Got outside. She texted me the flyer, and it was a mile and a half away, so I huffed it. It was 90 degrees out, dude. I was just soaking wet in sweat by the end of the day. I was cooked. And I didn't wear a hat, so my bald-ass head was all burnt. And I was going to go. Oh, I wanted to apologize to you guys, too. I wanted to go to the vigil. There was supposed to be a vigil outside the White House. I don't know if you guys saw the picture. I took a picture right out front of the White House. I was 150 feet, 200 feet from Donald Trump today. Or not today, but the other day. In this motorcade. I was quite literally 200 feet away. And then I was standing right in front of the White House. And I was going to go to the vigil, and then a nasty, nasty thunderstorm started rolling through. And I looked at the Weather Channel, and it said it was going to rain for like the next hour, which would have put it right into the vigil. And I still had what ended up being a 5-hour drive home. So I was up about 20 hours. I had woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30, for no apparent reason, and was so excited about the trip I couldn't go back to sleep. So yeah, this is all just to get Donald Trump 1.7 miles from the fucking White House, man. Like he's some kind of king. I mean, is this always like this? Does anybody know? Because I've never honestly paid attention to a presidential procession before. But this feels excessive. A lot. I mean, so I asked ChatGPT. It says anywhere from like 25,000 to 50 grand. One way. So it cost us, the taxpayers, between $50,000 and $100,000 for Donald Trump to go to the Kennedy Center and back, which is like a 3.4 mile round trip. Yeah, just tax money is hard work, man. And then he gave some insane press conference while he was there. So, but no, it was kind of cool though, seeing it. I'm not gonna lie. It was really cool seeing it. I really enjoyed it. It was a good trip. It was like my one last chance to just really soak in DC, because DC is like a a special place for me. You know what I mean? Growing up, we used to go to field. We're stationed in Northern Virginia in Fairfax County, and DC was so close. My mom worked at the Pentagon. I have the picture. Did I take it? I think I took it down because it's a little bit big. She used to work at the Pentagon as a secretary for one of the generals there. One of the high up generals. I don't want to say. Was it Secretary of Defense? I'll have to ask her. I don't even remember now. I was a little kid. I got a tour of the Pentagon. It's huge. It's huge. The pictures don't do it justice, but when you walk a lap, holy shit, I think it's a mile around, just one trip. But we used to go to D.C. all the time, man, to the museums and shit, and now Donald Trump is going to go through all of them and make sure it's not woke, whatever the fuck that means, man. You know, I realized the other day the Heritage Foundation means white heritage. I don't know how I never put that together. I didn't really put it two and two together until the Department of Homeland Security's Twitter feed started posting about protect your heritage. And now I'm realizing that the Heritage Foundation, that means white heritage, is what they're saying. So, yeah. But again, I loved my trip to D.C. It wasn't like filled with exciting, car chases and people getting chased down the street and stuff like that. It wasn't anything insane. There wasn't protests going on all over the place. It wasn't anything like that. But outside of Union Station, I will give a shout out to those people there. I wish I remembered all their names. They are posted up 24/7. They have tents outside Union Station. So if you're ever in D.C. and want to go somewhere that probably has information on what kind of events are going on that day in D.C., I guarantee they know. So Union Station, you can't miss them. They have huge tents set up out there. So, yeah, I did a lot of walking. It was an expensive trip. But thanks to you guys. I want to say thank you. It was honestly like, going by myself and just being able to walk around the city one last time just kind of brought up a lot of memories. My dad and I used to go a lot. He's not here with me anymore. So I just want to say thank you. So it really was a special trip after all. Plus, I got to meet some amazing people. I gave a lot of people my information. Hopefully get a couple guests out of it on the show. Yeah, Brina, I miss Obama. Yeah, no shit. I think we all do at this point. But hey, good news, though. If they allow presidents to run for a third term, we can always get Obama back. On the bright side of things. But at this point, Donald Trump is going to make Gavin Newsom the next president. As I hate to say that, but because Kamala Harris is not even in the conversation right now. It is all Gavin Newsom and Donald Trump. That's all you hear anymore. Am I wrong, though? You know what I'm saying? Occasionally you'll hear Bernie Sanders. But you don't hear anything from Kamala Harris right now. She's like, I'm just enjoying myself. I wrote a book. I'm like, you wrote a book? Well, you know what the fuck is going on? You're sitting around laughing, having a good time writing a book? We're all panicking. No, we got Gavin Newsom out there and we'll look at his Twitter feed later. And all caps posts. It is hilarious. He is trolling the shit out of Trump. And he's posting just like Donald Trump does. Like, thank you for your attention to this matter kind of shit. And he'll put his initials at the end of it. It's hilarious. It truly is. So, but again, thank you guys for helping me out and getting me to Washington, D.C. So I guess since we're talking about Washington, D.C., let's just get into it. The reason, again, I feel that Donald Trump did what he did is now we can send police officers in. They don't need any reasonable suspicion. They don't need probable cause. They don't need anything. And they can racially profile now. They're just walking up to black neighborhoods and just walking up to people sitting on their own porch asking for do you have ID on you? The guy's like, no. Why would I have to have ID on me? They're arresting people for smoking weed in public, even though weed is legal in District of Columbia. I've smoked weed in public in District of Columbia. But yeah, anyway, TMI, pause. But they're drinking in public, so you can't be sitting on your porch. If you're sitting on your porch smoking weed or having a drink, you could be arrested. Yeah. Apparently existing while black is now a crime. Fuck, I hate this country, man. I'm sorry. I love my country, and I love a lot of the people in it. Like, because there's a lot of us that really want positive change for all people. You know what I mean? Except maybe Trump supporters. Y'all are cooked. I love my country. It's a beautiful country. But the people that are running it right now, just like the people that are running Israel, are just going to destroy it. And they're going to destroy our reputation across the world. You know, I mean, hell, they are at one point trying to sell off public land to the private so billionaires could build these luxury homes on historic protected land. That's insane. That's insane. Okay, anywho, let's get into it. First video, I just want to show you. This is the video I was referencing about a guy who's freaking out because he's getting arrested for doing something that is legal. I have Washington's medical marijuana laws up here, and I mean, it doesn't say you can't smoke it in public. I mean, look, I'll just show it to you real quick. I have it pulled up. Let me get rid of that. Put that back up here. Here we go. So you're allowed to possess up to 2 ounces of cannabis in the District of Columbia area. You can actually share up to 1 ounce with another adult, and you can grow cannabis. So I don't understand how. You know what I do? I do. God damn it. Fuck. Cannabis is still a Schedule I controlled substance and is federally illegal. Fuck. Yeah, that's why. It is still, which is a paradox if you guys didn't know this, but yeah. Federally, it's still considered a Schedule I narcotic. It's very illegal. Very illegal. Even though you can order it off the internet right now. You can go on the website right now and buy weed. In any state, even in states where it's not legal. So yeah, so they're arresting people for something that they think is legal. Like the people on the streets don't know about Donald Trump's policies. Cops are walking out of people like that are probably never had anything to do with politics before, and they're asking them like, "Oh, have you heard about Donald Trump's new policies?" No, the average person does not follow everything that this fucking psychopath does. You know what I'm saying? Like, so no, if you're walking down the street and in your head you're like, "This is cool. I live in a place where cannabis is legal," and then you're being arrested for that thing, that's crazy. That truly is crazy. Truly is crazy. But again, they're targeting marginalized communities intentionally. They're not walking around white neighborhoods. They're going to black and brown neighborhoods. But here is a friend of the show. He was on the show, I think just the one time. Goes by Who is King Triv on TikTok. But here he is talking about it. And he's obviously, for good reason, very upset.
We'll break and fuck the news. Here's more footage of what's going on in D.C. In the mainly black neighborhoods.
My car's on though, hold on,
We're
bro.
gonna secure your vehicle.
Man, listen, no, ain't none of that. My car's on, I was about to leave. He said I could leave, fuck all that. Man, listen, all that secure vehicle shit, bro, go ahead, bro. Y'all down like Dickie and bro, listen, bro, that's my car, bro. What the fuck? Man, listen, the key is on me and I'm not giving it to y'all, bro. Don't text me, bro. Listen, my ID is on me, that's all he asked. Why am I arrested? Listen, why am I arrested? I don't listen, why? Y'all niggas think y'all can do whatever y'all want. I don't give a fuck about that badge. I'm a personal trainer, nigga. And I was a fire department, nigga. Fuck is wrong with y'all? Man, listen, I'm not arrested though. I'm not going nowhere. Listen, I'm not going nowhere. Call your chief, I'm not going nowhere. It's my birthday and all that. Call your chief. Fuck all that. Take your badge off. I bet I do something to your ass. Take your badge off. Fuck, you gonna do me like that, bro? You a brother, bro. Don't call me, man. I don't want you touching me, bro. I don't want you touching me. He already got me. Fuck on. Yeah, how about that? Freedom of speech. Fuck on. Freedom of speech. How about that now?
Appropriate response. I would be upset too. And on the guy's birthday, no less. Jesus. This is Trump's America, but that could be federally. Think about what's happening in D.C. and L.A. and just think about that on a national level. I don't think they can financially support this kind of oppression on a national level because they're burning through cash. They are burning through cash just by going after 2 cities. So I don't see how they could possibly keep this up, especially with all of our allies abandoning us. You know what I'm saying? So But they don't need probable cause. They can just roll up on you and say, hey, come here. But here's somebody else getting arrested for probably absolutely nothing.
Why the fuck are you putting him in handcuffs? You don't have no reason to put this man in handcuffs, sir. I'm not so. I'm just saying. Back up.
This is what causes
Back up.
radicalized societies.
He showed you he has nothing.
This is what causes violence, is because
He put this man in handcuffs with no reason. Hey, don't push him, y'all. Don't push them. He had no reason to put this man in handcuffs. Y'all, calm down, y'all. Relax.
so they're trying to. I feel like they're just trying to instigate violence, because that's all this administration wants. You know what I mean? Big Balls gets punched in the nose and gets the Presidential Medal of Freedom. So just imagine what happens if a cop or an ICE agent gets shot and dies. One has already gotten shot. You know what I'm saying? But this is what happens. This is how, you know what I mean? And I hate to say this, but this is how groups like Hamas exist. You know what I mean? When you oppress a people for so long, eventually the people radicalize and they fight back. It's inevitable. And how are you going to subdue hundreds of millions of people? Because there's a lot of people in the United States. A lot of people in the United States. Oh, also, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but they're now using Reaper drones over American soil. That is a confirmed story, as far as I know. I will double check that. But they're now using Reaper drones to monitor protesters. Before I said, let me take. I want to say I can't remember the source now, and I'm starting to second guess myself. But yeah, I'll say supposedly, and I'll find out more. I'll talk about it tomorrow about Reaper drones being used over United States soil for surveillance of United States citizens. We wouldn't even know they're in the sky. They could be watching us. So. If that's the case, they're turning military technology on the American people. They're already using facial recognition shit, these ICE agents and all that stuff. So here, just another video, real quick, just to kind of nail home the point of what is happening. There was a motorcycle accident, I believe, and look at the response.
Good evening. Not just DC Police, we also have Border Patrol, U.S. Customs as well, pulling off over here, HSI. There's a lot happening right here on the scene that we're trying to gather. We were responding to some kind of large federal law enforcement presence. As you can see, a number of federal hopping in their car. Please excuse the language from people in this community. There seems to be some kind of frustration. They're not understanding why this level of response to this community. Let's just keep our eye on this shot right here. There's a number of cars. We're turning around to a scene that also took place here. Again, this is all developing. We're trying to piece together what exactly took place here, but it looks like maybe there were two different things taking place, MPD responding and federal agents responding. We're still trying to gather, but what I can say is the neighborhood here, they're just very upset at this type of response. We had people asking, somebody was hit, I guess, by a motorcycle, and they're like, why do we need this kind of response in our neighborhood to someone who was hit and just needs an ambulance?
Yeah. Yeah, an accident, and they sent the entire department. Diana, I will check that out. Thank you very much. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm looking at all the comments here. So, yeah, that's the DC, and I guess I must have missed it. Now there are troops in Washington. Now the cops are not patrolling, or they weren't anyway, the National Mall area, or anywhere near the White House, really. Any more than usual. Anywhere you saw protesters, there was a little bit of an increased amount of cops, but it wasn't like they were, surrounding the place. So I hate to see DC go to shit. We're just like this close to seeing gold statues of Donald Trump in Washington D.C. I honestly, that sounds crazy when I say it out loud. That sounds absolutely insane when I say it out loud. But no, we're really close to having gold statues of Donald Trump in Washington or all over. Who knows? Who knows at this point? He's already gold plated the entire White House. That looks awful, by the way. Okay. All right. Now I know where we're going to go. Let's move on to the far right Christian pastor of Pete Hegseth. And I'm forgetting his name at the moment. Pastor Doug Wilson leads Christ Church out of Moscow, Idaho, which is their network. They have a network. Wonderful. It's their flagship location. This is the guy that was on CNN recently talking about women. It doesn't take any talent to have a baby, and women are basically just vessels. They should not have the right to vote. Actually, as a matter of fact, there's some key highlights here. Let me go back down. Oh, no. There we go. Let me go and pull this up. So Wilson's church and wider denomination practice complementarianism, the patriarchal idea that men and women have different God-given roles. Women within the CREC churches cannot hold church leadership positions, and married women are to submit to their husbands. Wilson told the AP he believes the 19th Amendment granting the women the right to vote was a bad idea, and still he and his wife and daughters vote. He would prefer the United States follows his church's example, which allows heads of households to vote in church elections. Unmarried women qualify as voting members in his church. Ordinarily, the vote is cast by the head of the household, the husband and father, because we are patriarchal and not egalitarian. Yet repealing the 19th Amendment is not high on his list of priorities. Yeah, right. I'm sure it's right up there with not banning abortion nationwide on the list of your priority list. Or on on your priority list there. So, but anyway, just to further prove that the Republicans, or at least these Christian nationalist Republicans, are predators who protect pedophiles. This is what I wanted to talk about because this is the story that they broke over on iHip News. So I'm going to go ahead and let me add this to the stage.
2005, a member of the church named Stephen Sittler, and this church is Christ Church.
Now keep in mind, this is Pete Hegseth. Okay, that's his pastor. This is his church. Okay, we're talking about the group that won't release the Epstein list. Every news story that comes out about a pedo is most of the time, if not all the time, somebody right on the right. So let's just listen in here.
He pleaded guilty to felony child sex abuse charges, a bunch of them, a bunch of victims. In 2006, Christ Church receives criticism for slow disclosure to the church members regarding Sittler. Later in 2006, Doug Wilson, that's the guy that was just talking about Pete giving, saying amen to Christ Church. In 2006, that guy, Doug Wilson, found Sittler, the confessed pedophile that pleaded guilty to felony child sex abuse charges. He found him to be repentant, and he accepts him back into the church again. And
he was forgiven.
Wilson, the pastor of this church, writes a letter to the judge vouching for this pedophile. And so in 2007, Sittler, the pedophile, is released from prison, and Wilson refers to him as a, quote, forgiven sinner, and Wilson offers pastoral oversight.
This is why I hate these Christians, these MAGA Christians. I'm not lumping all Christians into this. But they truly think that anything you do in life is forgivable. Rape, murder, incest, pedophilia. They think all of that is somehow, if you just ask for forgiveness. That's all you gotta do. Please forgive me. Oh, I feel so much better. Now I can move on with my life. Like, y'all are sick. Y'all are sick. That's all I guess. That's it. You're sick. You're sick people who want to be disgusting pieces of shit in real life and not have a guilty conscience about it. So you pray to your imaginary white Jesus and ask for forgiveness because you hate yourself and you're a fucking horrible person. I'm so sick of these Christian types.
To monitor this
it's
pedophile.
Awful.
2011, Steven Sittler, the pedophile, gets married. And
Is that true? Somebody just posted in the comments their son abused his sisters. Oh, the Duke. Yeah. All right,
Doug
yeah.
Wilson officiates the wedding. And the pedophile and the wife have a baby.
Okay. Okay. All right. Just to recap. Okay. So they forgive him. He's back in the church. Meets a woman. I guess she knows. And then the pastor of Pete Hegseth's church marries them. And then it gets worse.
2011, Steven Sittler, the pedophile, gets married, and Doug Wilson officiates the wedding, and the pedophile and the wife have a baby. In 2015, Sittler sexually abuses his infant son and confesses to it. And then later, after this abuse to the infant son and his confession of abusing the infant son, Doug Wilson, the pastor of the Secretary of Defense of the United States of America, published an open letter saying that Sittler was welcome in the church.
I don't even know where to go with that. I don't even know where to go with that. But that's the type of people, and he wants the entire country to go by his church's example, is what he's saying. What example? That you guys like to touch kids and you think it's okay? That it's something that you can just wash away? You can't wash away some sins, man. Not all sins are forgiven. If you can think this is you're going to get eternal afterlife after raping a child, your own child too, which is insane. Any child is insane. You're going to get into heaven. Like, you're sick. Something in your head needs to be rewired because you've been fed some bullshit. And let's be honest, these MAGA Christians would be the first one to crucify Jesus if he came back in real life. He'd be a liberal hippie with brown skin. You know what I mean? They would be like, oh my God, it's the devil trying to tempt us. Get them. They would, you know they would. You know they would. They'd be the first to have their tiki torches out ready to go. Fucking psychos, man. But this is why the world doesn't like Christianity. Because Christianity is a religion that was forced on the entire world. Most of humanity wasn't Christian until they just went around trying to convert everybody, being like, our way's the best. Oh my God. But that's who, that's who Pete Hegseth follows as his spiritual guidance, I guess we could say. Right? Awesome, isn't it? Just when you think these people couldn't get any more disgusting and any worse, tomorrow happens. I just want to take a break from all the disgusting shit I have to read through on a daily basis. You know what's funny, though? On the Homeland Security website, they have the nerve to post this. Let me show you this. Illegal alien pedophiles, sex offenders, and violent thugs will no longer roam free under the pedophile President Trump. No self-awareness whatsoever. talking about arresting pedophiles while actually protecting a pedophile, allegedly, whatever, for legal reasons, is peak Republican. Breaking laws and telling your citizens you need to follow the law is definitely peak Republican. Like, seriously, you expect us to make... No. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah, I don't know about y'all, but seeing these people try and make the rules is, one, it's heartbreaking, but two, it's just absurd. It's disgusting. And it shouldn't be happening, but, you know, it's literally the world we live in. So I have not realized I've been talking for 40 minutes. So take a break real quick to say that I am going back to Washington, D.C., guys. I'm going back on the 2nd, tentatively. I believe it's the 1st or 2nd. I can't remember. Or actually, I have to find out. I think it's the 2nd. But anyway, Carlos from American Opposition, who was on the show, I'm going to be meeting up with him down in D.C. So it's going to be a big thing. This is the next indivisible 50-51 nationwide organized protest. It's not just a pop-up one or, just a local community one. This is supposed to be, and after all this in Washington, D.C., I have to imagine it's going to be massive, and I would like to be in D.C. as it happens. So if you guys, again, want to, you don't have to, but if you guys would like to contribute to the cause, we do have a GoFundMe link set up in our description of the video. The link tree is in the description of the video, and we have our GoFundMe in there. Also, if you want to follow us on any other social media platforms, Instagram, Blue Sky, which we don't really do much on. Instagram has been popping off lately. Facebook's been doing really well lately. For me, I don't know why. I don't understand social media, but I'm done with TikTok. Their new community guidelines, holy shit. You can tell they put an ex-IDF officer in charge of their moderation on anti-Semitism. Their new guidelines are insane. You will not be able to say anything bad about Trump. You will not be able to say, you can't even say Free Palestine now without getting your video flagged or suppressed. But they're gonna start banning people for that shit. You're not gonna be able to say anything bad about Israel. Forget it. So TikTok's dead. Just start accepting that fact that TikTok is dead. If you haven't already, I would consider building on new platforms. As much as I hate Meta and Mark Zuckerberg, it's the only platforms I have right now that are really actually doing some numbers. Even Facebook sucks right now. We only get a couple hundred views a video. You know what I mean? We put a lot of effort in every video. So we try and bring special guests on that nobody else has. Like we have talking about Gaza this Sunday. Then we have on Tuesday, we have Election Truth Alliance and Smart Elections and Brandy from TikTok coming back on to talk about up-to-date stuff regarding all the irregularities regarding the last election. So we got a lot of stuff lined up. So it is frustrating sometimes, but we do what we can. I'll never understand social media or how to become successful on it. I don't even know if there's a trick. I think it's just kind of like some people hop on, make a video, get 1 million views right away, and then some people you just got to grind it out. All right, back to the show. Anyway, going to this, some heroes don't wear capes kind of thing. This guy is my hero of the week. Decided he was fed up with ICE in D.C. and the law enforcement in D.C. and decided to throw his Subway sandwich at this at this guy, who, mind you, is wearing a bulletproof vest. So I'm pretty sure he didn't feel the Subway sub. But now they're charging this guy with hold up. Oh, and the funny part, before I show you the video, the funniest part is the guy apparently works for the Department of Justice. He's a DOJ employee. A man charged with a felony. It was a sandwich, guys. It wasn't even like a rock. It was a sandwich. It's like getting hit in a pillow fight. And you had body armor on. I don't even know why they chased this guy down. I would have just laughed at him. Hurling a sandwich at federal law enforcement official in the nation's capital has been fired from his job at the Justice Department. How did he end up here? a video. He must have really just crashed out and be like, I fucking can't take it anymore. I work for fucking morons. I can't do it. He was an international affairs specialist in the Justice Department's criminal division. This is the example of the deep state we have been up against for 7 months as we... Oh my God, they're calling this guy part of the deep state. Oh! Excuse me. Oh, and this is a gem. This is a gem. In case you guys are wondering where Donald Trump's head is at on this one, it has just been found out that the Democrats are buying protesters in order to fight my attack on crime. They are criminals who support crime. They are unelectable. So one, he's calling protesters criminals. Or he's calling protests crime. Or they support crime. Jesus Christ. No, we don't support crime. They are unelectable. But no, Democrats are not paying. Okay? If that was the case, I would sign up for it. Because these trips are expensive. So no. But this is the President of the United States, man. This is something your dementia-ridden grandfather would post on Facebook. But no. No, no. Not in America. In America, the president posts this random shit. You know what I mean? This is, you go to your grandpa's nursing home and be like, Grandpa, I told you to stay off the Facebook. Be like, okay, I will. No, this is the president of the United States who thinks, he probably honestly thinks this. I don't think that he honestly is just perpetuating conspiracy. I think that he thinks, why are there so many people out in the streets? It doesn't make sense to me. Everybody loves me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does not process in his brain that most of the country hates his guts because he lives in his little bubble. I'm being serious. I truly think that he does not comprehend or cannot compute why there are so many people out in the streets against him if they're not being paid to do it. Because he doesn't understand anything. Like, he doesn't understand being part of something bigger than yourself. That's what part of being in the military is all about. That's what part of being part of the protest is all about. Being part of something that's bigger than yourself. He does not get that. Everything in Donald Trump's life has been transactional. He does not do anything for free. Anything for free. So he doesn't comprehend that people are out in the streets now fighting against him. He doesn't get it. So obviously they must be paid. That's how probably his thought process was. So that's what he's posting on True Social right now, that there are paid protesters out in the streets. The guy's nuts. The guy's lost it. Lost it. But anyway, going back to the sandwich guy, my new hero. Here's the video. And unfortunately for him, it's on video. It's like I'm watching Forrest Gump run from the cops.
He cooked up.
He cooked. They're cheering for him. I mean, the funny part is he's dressed like somebody that looks like he just screams the N-word on the regular basis. I mean, just real quick, look at him. Tight khaki shorts and a polo shirt. Definitely. But no, he's... and he works for the Department of Justice, too. But, of course, he's deep state. Got to be part of the deep state. You people are insane. These people are nuts. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to... we're going to talk about big balls in a moment. We're going to get the big balls. Let's talk about PragerU. I don't know how much you guys know about PragerU. I did not know much. I took it as kind of one of these fringe things that was just this right wing echo chamber, but it's way worse than I could have even imagined. Started looking into it a little bit once I found out Kash Patel's girlfriend is the CEO of PragerU. In case you guys didn't know that, fun fact for you. And her background is very, very, let's say, curated. Almost looks like it doesn't. It looks like it was written by ChatGPT. You know what I'm saying? And but no, a lot of people are saying that she's ex-IDF intelligence. We know that for sure. So she's pro-Israel, big time. And we know our government is. So it tracks. It tracks. But in case you guys did not see the video, I'm going to show it to you. It is very shocking. But this is the shit. This is what grooming is. This is what grooming is. So remember how the expression that keeps going around is every accusation from a Republican is a confession? This is grooming. And it's on their website. I'm going to show you the website here in a second. But this is a video. It's Christopher Columbus talking to a little girl about slavery. And the little girl asks, well, slavery is really bad. And he's trying to say, well, it was only, it was just because of the times. They're literally trying to downplay slavery and normalize that white people weren't. I don't know what the point of this is. I don't know what the point of this is. Like, white people, all y'all out there with these fragile egos, why can we not look bad throughout history, but better in the future? Like, y'all are making us look even worse in the future, which I will never understand. But this is the shit they're teaching the kids. This is what grooming looks like, folks, in cartoon form on the internet.
Yeah, but what about slavery? You didn't deny that.
Deny? No. Slavery is as old as time and has taken place in every corner of the world, even amongst the people I just left. Being taken as a slave is better than being killed, no? I don't see the problem.
Well, in our time, we view slavery as being evil and terrible.
No.
Ah, magnifico. That's wonderful. I am glad humanity has reached such a time. But you said you're from 500 years in the future? How can you come here to the 15th century and judge me by your standards from the 21st century? For those in the future to look back and do this is, well, estúpido.
Yeah. Slavery is better than being killed. No. No, bitch. No. Being killed is better than slavery. I would rather die than be a slave. I'm sure a lot of people out there share this sentiment. But this is the stuff, this is kids stuff they're trying to teach here. Let me show you the website. The website is fucking insane. And just so you guys can get an idea, Dennis Prager, who is he's a Zionist. Okay, I'll just give you the short version. I'm not going to go over his Wikipedia profile. He's a Zionist. Okay, so they do a lot of pro-Israel bullshit. And very pro-fascism, pro-capitalism. Showcase people like Viktor Orban, why Latinos voted for Trump. They even have a thing in here on why tariffs are a good thing. It is straight up Israeli propaganda. Okay? But anyway, you go up to the top. You guys go up, any you guys want to. It's PragerU.com. I would love for you guys to all just spam email the shit out of them. But anyway, there's a kids section. There's a kids section. Let's look at the kids videos. What is on the kids section? Wow, they actually have a lot of shit on the kids section for different grade levels too. The one we were just watching was for 3rd through 6th graders, teaching them that slavery, wasn't that bad. It was a better option than being killed. What? And then you go to this, and it's literally just more of the same. More of the same. Look at this. Look at this. This is all propaganda kids post. All cartoons. Israel stuff. Oh my God. Yeah. So anyway, you could go and you can even browse the kids' videos. The one we watched was now I'm gonna forget his name. Christopher Columbus. It's like 14 minutes long, I think, which is crazy. Or no, it may be 4 minutes long. No, it is 12 to 14 minutes long. That's what I thought. So yeah, they got all kinds of stuff on here. I would highly recommend looking at it if you just want to be, I don't know, freaked out, mad. I don't know how something like this exists. I really don't understand how something like this exists. Let me look up the tariff one. Hold up. The risky business of national budgets. Oh my God. And don't forget that kids, browse kids. Oh, there we go. But why tariffs? Yeah, here you go. If you want your kids in 6th grade and over to learn about tariffs, they can learn about it from PragerU. Bro, this is crazy, man. How does this exist? And they replaced PBS. So instead of Sesame Street, we got this. This could be what kids learn in the future. This is how, like, the new round of Nazi children end up being bred, is they don't know anything other than this. PragerU. It's a horrifying concept. Hold on a second. I got to look up something. Yeah, there it is. Kash Patel actually wrote this. This is a real book. You can get it on Amazon right now, written by Kash Patel, the director of the FBI. Yeah. The plot against the king. And guess who's the king? Oh, look, there's Obama. There's Hillary. These people are crazy. And that is the head of our FBI. That's insane. But this guy's a troll. Like, his girlfriend is, I mean, she's gorgeous. She is. Going by physical appearance. And he's, like, way older than her. And he looks like a little troll. So people are saying possible honeypot situation. Not far-fetched, coming from the Israeli government. It's kind of their thing. It's what they do. So again, yeah, this is the stuff they're going to be teaching to our children. So I would highly consider homeschool something. I don't even know. Usually I have like something funny I can say, but at this point it's like, it's frustrating. It's frustrating watching how insane this has become. I mean, I honestly thought he was going to do martial law on day one. He didn't. Now it's coming. You know what I mean? It's definitely coming. But then the PragerU stuff, and like, this is a little bit out there. This is a little bit out there. So moving on. Let's move on and talk about Russia for a little bit. And why is the White House allowing Russian assets to come into the press briefing room and ask questions? I really, really would like to know that, because both now Benny Johnson and Tim Pool, both were confirmed to be being paid by Russia, or at least the money came from Russia, to spread Russian propaganda. And now they are asking questions as if they are part of the official corporate press. Yeah, that's what we're doing now. So anyway, before we get into that, let's talk about, well, I guess this is my segue into the topic, but let's talk about big balls, because they're trying to make big balls a hero. Okay, now keep in mind, we don't know the exact circumstances of what happened. They're trying to make it out like he was trying to stop a carjacking or save a woman or whatever, get a kitten out of a tree. Like, I don't even know what they were trying to say at this point. They're trying to make him out to be like a hero. And the truth of the matter is he stuck his nose in business that wasn't his, and then he got punched in the nose by a 15-year-old girl. So I don't know if anybody's ever been punched in the nose or had a bloody nose. You bleed a lot. So that picture of him with all the blood on him, boop, that's it. Punched in the nose, Presidential Medal of Freedom. And then you got morons like this guy Mike Lee, who I believe is a senator, posting AI videos of Donald Trump very seductively Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing in this video? Like, watch. What the fuck is going on in this video, man? And why does he look like he's 12? I would say this is on brand for Trump, but Donald Trump likes little girls, so not little boys. But that's the creepiest AI video I probably have ever seen, especially of Donald Trump. This looks very erotic, very homoerotic. I don't know if Mike Lee thought this one through. But yeah, again, so Big Balls, who got beat up by a little girl. He's only 19, running around our government, causing all kinds of ruckus. He's only 19 years old, right? So anyway, let me first show you Benny Johnson asking this question to Caroline Leavitt about big balls in the middle of freedom. And just listen. Actually, I don't even know if I have that part of the clip. I'm just going to show you because Benny Johnson's there asking about him getting the middle of freedom. But listen to this bullshit story that Benny Johnson says. Like, if everything in this video truly happened the way he said it did, he is quite literally he's like a crime magnet, the most unluckiest person on the planet. You'll see what I mean in a second. Let me play this for you real quick.
We'll start with our new media seat, who is our podcast host today, Benny Johnson. Benny, why don't you kick us off, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Caroline. As a D.C. resident of 15 years, I lived on Capitol Hill. I witnessed so many muggings and so much theft. I lost track. I was carjacked. I have murders on my Ring camera and mass shootings. I witnessed a woman on my block held up at gunpoint for $20, and my house was set ablaze in an arson with my infant child inside. And so to any reporter that says and lies that D.C. is a safe place to live and work, let me just say this. Thank you. Thank you for making the city safe, because no parent should have to go through what my family went through, having the fire department rip open their door to save their infant child. And so thank you for your work on securing this city. My question to you is this. Nancy Pelosi has attacked the president for deploying the National Guard to the city, saying that it is to cover for his incompetence. Hillary Clinton has also attacked the president for securing the city of Washington, D.C. I'd like to get your response to Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton.
Sure. Well, first of all, Benny, I'm so sorry that happened to you and your family.
See what I mean? I've been carjacked. I took a bullet. I took 2 bullets in my left arm. I took 1 in my right. I took some grenade shrapnel and Nam. Like, this motherfucker's like, I got mass shootings on my Ring cam. Like, no, you didn't. I saw a lady get robbed for $20. Really? Really? You saw a lady get robbed and you knew exactly how much she got robbed for? Really? That's amazing. I've never heard of that talent before. Oh, she got robbed for like $63. It's like a circus talent. But if you guys don't know who Benny Johnson is, he's also, again, Russian shill. This is also him right here being real happy about being at a concentration camp and getting merch provided by the government.
I just want everyone to know that there's official Alligator Alcatraz merch. There it is, provided to us by the state of Florida. Incredible. And yeah, would you rock this drip? Look at that.
No, only a Nazi would rock concentration camp drip, as he puts it. These people are so dystopian. So dystopian. Ugh, it gives me creeps. The amount of people in my comments like, I'm buying Alcatraz. What are you gonna do about it? I'm buying an Alcatraz shirt. Really, really, you want to put that out there like that? And I've still not seen anybody in public with one on. I've seen a couple videos of really stupid Trump supporters with one in public. I mean, if you think a red hat is going to piss people off in public anymore, go ahead. Just do it. Do it. We'll call it a social experiment. All of you go out in public with your best alligator Alcatraz merch on and see how you get treated. I honestly dare you to do it. I would like to see the reaction videos of you crying when you get home. Or like, oh my God, people treated me like I'm a Nazi. Well, duh, if the shoe fits. You know what I'm saying? But Benny Johnson is not the only Russian asset that has been put in the White House, in the press room. We've also had Tim Pool, who always looks like he's damn near homeless. He's in there in the White House press briefing room in a hoodie and a beanie. Like, seriously, dude.
Many of the news organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false narratives, such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called the Maryland Man hoax, where an MS-13 gang member adjudicated by 2 different judges, I believe, is just simply being referred to as a Maryland Man over and over again. Now, in an effort from the White House to expand access to
these are the most scripted,
this,
most scripted questions I've ever heard from these guys. These guys will do anything and say anything for $1, and they'll take it from anybody. They'll take money from everybody. Obviously, they have no problem taking money from Russia. That's for damn sure. So, yeah. But moving on to Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's new boo. I still think there's something going on there. Caroline Leavitt always tries to spin it in the best possible light. So here's her responding to Benny Johnson and his ridiculous question.
There have been, unfortunately, far too many victims of crime in this city, and I know the majority of residents in the District of Columbia agree with you. In fact, a new poll from the Washington Post I was reading this morning, this was released in May of 2024, so it's quite funny how many of you in the media agreed with what the president was saying yesterday, but now once the president says it, many of you are disagreeing with him. But this poll released by the Washington Post found that 65% of district residents think crime is an extremely serious or a very serious problem, and this was up from 56% last year. So
we're looking at polls, but not actual crime statistics, which say crime is down nationwide. It's about to explode. It's about to explode once the riots start, because people haven't seen the effects. People are starting to get price shocked. I'm telling you, people are starting to get price shocked when they go to the store. But once they start cutting benefits and people start going hungry, crime is going to skyrocket. Okay, when people go into survival mode, I don't know if they don't care or they just don't understand what it's like being poor, and they think all of us are just degenerates that live off the government and we're living our best lives out here on welfare. I don't understand it. I wish they could walk one day in one of our shoes. Just any of us who's ever had to worry about paying rent or not knowing how you're going to buy diapers or food or formula or whatever for your kids. I just wish they could experience that for themselves. Being broke is a humbling experience. Being rich is a curse because it turns people, especially, I mean, not rich, but like, it just seems like once you get to a certain level, you just become a shitty person. Or maybe you were just always a shitty person, and that's why you're so rich, because you're willing to screw everybody and anybody over to get what you want. I hate people that are focused on money. And I used to be the person that was focused on money. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're going to take the Social Security. I wouldn't put it past them at this point. I don't know. We need something big to happen in this country, something to shake everything up. But again, I've kind of lost faith in the whole system at this point. because of Israel. I would like to thank Israel for making me lose faith in the democratic leaders that I had faith in 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I was all about the Democratic Party. I was all about their leaders. I'm like, oh, we have great leaders. And you got Pete Buttigieg out there being like, Israel's they're our best friend. And when they're going through something tough, you got to put your arm around your best friend. Well, your best friend is murdering people and starving people and killing reporters. Okay, it's time to have a new friend. That best friend's got to go to prison. You know what I'm saying? But you got Pete Buttigieg, who everybody loved. But now, thanks to Israel and their war in Gaza and their genocide in Gaza, a lot of us are really starting to question who's really in control here. Because according to a lot of reporting, AIPAC pulls all the strings. Apparently, if you're just a delegate, they make you write a paper. A pro-Israel, I'm not even joking. I'm not even making this up. These AIPAC reps, if you want to be a candidate, you have to write a pro-Israeli paper and show for just proof that you're willing to do something for Israel. It's honestly, I feel like they're in control. I feel like they have more control over our government, including our president, than even Vladimir Putin does. I think Putin and Trump are just buddies. But this stuff that's going on with Israel is far more fucked. Because Putin doesn't have control of our government the way Israel does. Let's be honest. Putin has a lot of influence over Trump and a lot of these right-wing influencers, but he does not have the influence within our politics the way Israel does, the way Netanyahu does, and the way AIPAC does. So like I said, man, like Pete Buttigieg, I used to like you, man, until you said that. But again, if you're putting an arm around a friend who's raping and killing and murdering and starving people, we don't want to be associated with you. Like, read the room, guys. Read the freaking room. How is that somebody's justification for what's happening? You can't bail on I cut friends off all the time for shit. That's what you do in life. You know what I mean? I've had friends cut me off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what happens in life. You go different paths, and you just got to cut that guy off. Maybe they're going down a darker path, and you want to go down that road. Be like, you know what? We don't need to be friends anymore. But for some reason, we cannot shake this country. It's starting to bother me. It's starting to get under my skin. And I feel like I'm talking about it too much. And I feel like it's going to get my videos suppressed on here and on everywhere right now. You say anything bad about this what that Project Esther is all about, man. They want to get rid of anything bad about Israel on social media, on television, literally everything. You cannot say one bad thing about Israel. That is anti-Semitic. Okay. So I watched part of the press briefing after Donald Trump's meeting with Vladimir Putin. To me, it was just Putin rambling on, talking about how great a leader Donald Trump is. It just felt like more of the same propaganda, blah, blah, blah. And I have a feeling, well, Ukraine wasn't involved, which is, you think the other country involved in this war would want to be involved in the talks about peace, especially when Donald Trump has been known to offer up territories. Be like, yeah, well, what if you just do this? Also, there's been rumors that Donald Trump may give Putin access to resources. They were also talking about opening up trade with Russia's not our friend either. Russia and Israel and North Korea. Like those three, even China at this point, I don't think is our enemy. I think they're just misunderstood. We've been lied to about China. I'm not going to say that China's good, but the people of China and China as a civilization, they've come a long way. They're about to surpass us in technology, electric vehicles, quite literally everything. They're about to leave us in the dust. High-speed transports, all that stuff. But yeah, so I don't know where to go with this. I don't know where to go with this. We're so compromised as a country. We are so compromised. And again, even if we get Donald Trump out, even if we get J.D. Vance out, even if we get Mike Johnson and all of them out, we still have Israel to deal with, which is a bigger problem because of the amount of influence they have over politicians. I hope they make a rule in the future that if you've taken money from AIPAC, you're not allowed to run for re-election. I wish they would. I wish they would. I don't think anybody should be taking money from lobbyists. Money has corrupted our government completely to the point of being a fascist government. This is what happens when you let corporate interests, whose corporations have never had the people's interest at heart. It's always about profit. As soon as you let corporations put as much money as they want to into campaigns and whatnot, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So thanks again to the Supreme Court. This is the problem we presented. Then you have people like Elon Musk spending $250 million. I still think, yeah. What do you guys think about this Elon Musk? Because he's been awful quiet lately. You think he just kind of like is trying to melt back into society? I think he's still getting favors and shit from Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Just they told him to shut the fuck up, and we'll still give you your subsidies. If you keep talking, we're gonna yank him out from underneath you. He's like, all right, I'll shut the fuck up. I don't know. He's been awful quiet. And Mike told me he got a raise from Tesla. He got a raise. Throws out a Nazi salute. Puts Tesla in one of the worst positions that's ever been financially, and they gave him a raise. That's insane. That's insane. I will never understand this shit, man. I will never. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't ever want to be like these people. I don't want to be a billionaire. I used to want to be rich. I used to chase that dream. Like I said before, I used to be one of those people that was all about money. That's all I cared about. That's all I cared about. Elon making sperm babies. He's a breeder. He's a breeder. I still think he's never had sex before, though. I honestly wish I could make that go viral, that Elon Musk is a virgin. He's had all his kids via IVF because his dick doesn't work because he had the penis enlargement surgery. Some of that could be true. Allegedly. There are, again, I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but if the rumors of Elon Musk dick being broken because he tried to make it bigger just makes me laugh. That's called gender affirming care, Elon. You want to feel more like a man. That's what gender affirming care is, okay? So yeah, let's make a hashtag Elon is a virgin. Yeah, F Elon, I totally agree. So, but there's rumors that he's got up towards 100 kids. Again, rumors. But I wouldn't put it past me because some of his kids like have been real secretive and stuff like that, and they've only found out through leaks or the person's come out and said, I'm Elon's baby mama. Like we're like, Elon has got 13 kids, and then a half an hour went by, they're like, Elon's got 14 kids. It's like, whoa, slow down. It was iHip News that did the I've Had It podcast. They're the ones that did a story on this, how Elon wants to have like this entire legion of kids because he thinks that his bloodline is superior, and we're gonna have like millions in 1,000 years. We're just gonna have millions and millions of little Elon babies running around. Yeah, so there are rumors that he could have upwards of 100 kids, and we just don't know about them. Which is crazy. He also, his last baby mama's from Israel. Just too many connections to Israel. I just don't like it. But anyway, getting back on topic. Here's a video of the best of friends, Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. Donald Trump had a hard time walking in a straight line. I don't know if you guys saw the Midas Touch video, but he's swerving back and forth. But just look at these two and just tell me that they don't look like they're just besties. Red carpet. Now watch this shit. Oh, excuse me. F-35s.
Will you stop killing civilians?
Yeah, red carpet, F-35s on the tarmac, and is that a B-2 bomber? B-52? B-2? I can't remember. A stealth bomber flying overhead. So I wonder how much that shit costs, too. Just to have Putin land and fly those planes over. A couple $100,000 at taxpayer expense. And then the U.S. reporters did a good job of pressing him on Ukraine. They were asking him questions like, are you going to stop killing civilians? And he was visibly upset about it, to the point where they actually cleared the press out of the room, from what I heard. I'll have to look more into that as well. So, yeah. Buddies to the end. I mean, he is Agent Krasnov, right? Putin's been working Donald Trump since, well, not Putin directly, but Russia's been working Donald Trump since the 80s. And don't forget, like, Putin is Russian intelligence. Putin is ex-KGB Russian intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Like ex-KGB. High up the chain, high up the food chain on the intelligence community. And so he's not stupid. He knows what he's doing. So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with, guys. Donald Trump's just going to sell us out. We'll have to wait and see what happens in D.C. If it's just a show of force, like a lot of the stuff, like the horses in the park in L.A., that was just a show of force. Just, I'm big and tough. People are going to suffer. People are going to go to jail unnecessarily. But it's the world we live in right now, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we have to deal with it. For how long? Who knows? Indefinitely, I don't know. What? What does this post mean? Why is Donald Trump posting Jasmine Crockett is the future of the Democratic Party? He hates Jasmine Crockett. What? I'm so confused. Whatever. I'm not gonna try and figure it out. I don't even care, honestly, what this guy says or does anymore. But again, good luck. Good luck. You know, once the uprising starts, once the violence starts, because people are gonna get violent. You keep pushing people that don't know what's going on. Like, we know what's going on, obviously. Like, people, you and me that watch the show, and me and Mike, we know what's going on because we follow it. But imagine not knowing anything about politics, which was me 4 years ago. So, like, 4-year-old me, 4 years ago, me, cop runs up to me, starts searching me for no apparent reason or whatsoever, asks me for ID. I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? No. I would get very defensive. And that's what's happening now. Like, people that don't have anything, don't care about politics, don't care about Trump or his policies. They don't know that Project 2025. They don't know about the Heritage Foundation, or we should start calling them the White Heritage Foundation. Imagine being like the guy sitting on his porch, smoking a cigarette, chilling. Cop walks by, asks you for your ID. It's like, why? Oh, you haven't heard of Trump's policies? Well, no. No, half of America doesn't know about Trump's policies. They're going to learn the hard way. But when you start rolling up on people that don't have a clue what's going on, they're going to feel backed into a corner. And, you know, fight or flight response kicks in. Eventually, violence is going to break out. But I just have this really stupid feeling that that's what he wants. I feel like that's what he wants. Like, he's trying to push the population into violence so he can declare martial law on a federal level. So far, it hasn't happened, thank God, but it's not permanent. Like, eventually, you can only oppress people so long. You can only oppress people for so long before they rise up against you. I think that's I learned that from critical race theory. You can only oppress, not critical race theory, but one of the authors who's They call him the godfather of critical race theory. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, of course. But yeah, people will only be oppressed for so long before they just stand on business and be like, enough is enough. You know what I mean? So be safe out there. Again, I'm going back to DC. I don't give a fuck anymore. I've got nothing to lose. This is what somebody looks like who feels like they've been radicalized at this point. I do. I'm angry. I have moments of rage when I just read some of this stuff, or when I start talking about it. You know what I mean? Like when I go on some of these rants, that is just me getting my anger out a lot of times. But they are radicalizing America against themselves, which is stupid. But that's what happens when you get a population that already has a shit life. I'm not going to sit here and act like my life is fantastic. It's not. It's a struggle. Every single fucking day is a struggle. You get a bunch of us together that have nothing to lose, man. Shit's going to pop off eventually. I'm just... Historical facts, okay? You push people too far, everybody has a breaking point. Everybody has a breaking point. Okay? And you probably are not going to like the reaction you get once you push somebody past that breaking point. I've been close to mine before in my life, and luckily I came back from it unscathed for the most part. Maybe some just PTSD, but yeah, this is a negative outcome situation for America. Okay, either we have Trump forever, or we rise up, acts of violence will occur, and then they will use the military. So, like, again, I guess it goes back to the beginning of the show where I said it. It's really find it hard for all military members to follow any orders that would put American lives at stake. I'm holding on to that. Maybe a little too much. Maybe I got to let that one go, too. I don't know, man. I don't know. But, yeah. Anyway, I'll be back on tomorrow. I don't even have a clue what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. We'll see what the news brings us. Also, don't forget to tune in. Please tune in Sunday. Tell your friends. I already made the link for it. If you guys want to check it out, it's on our feed. But we're having Global Movement to Gaza USA on the show to talk about their efforts to try and just get food and aid to starving people of Palestine. Okay, so I'm extremely excited about this episode, and I'm so happy to have met this person in DC on my trip. And honestly, it made the entire trip worth it, just meeting this one person. So, yeah, I look forward to y'all meeting her too. And I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow at around 8 o'clock. And have a good night. Love you guys, and talk to you tomorrow.